Good evening, everyone, and welcome inside of Newman Park, your home for the 2025 Division II Southeast Super Regional on Flow Sports. We're here on the campus of Catawba College, the Catawba Indians, the top seed in the region, to take on the 3-seeded Lenoir-Rhyne Bears for the 6th time this season. The stakes tonight are simple. If Catawba wins, they're off to Cary. If the Bears win, they will force a Game 3 tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Catawba took the game last night, and we can't wait to see how this one will shape out. Hello, everyone. JT Wistersill, Kyle Grice joining me on the call. Kyle, what are you most looking forward to about tonight?
Looking forward to seeing these two teams square off for a 6th time this year, and basically the 4th time in about 2-3 weeks. Just two high-powered teams, both offensively and defensively. Yeah,
still crazy to think these two teams did not play in a regular season series. Both coaches wanted to play each other, so they scheduled a non-conference series. Bears took the first at their place. Catawba took the second here. Catawba would take both games up in the SAC championship site in Asheboro, North Carolina. But all of that are things of the past. The one in the past that does matter is last night, a big 7-3 win for Catawba. How were they able to get it?
They were able to pull in just some clutch hitting. They had 4 runs in 1 inning. That'll pretty much be, a kill shot in the end. It was just LR not being able to string together enough offense. Yeah,
Bears said as much yesterday, too, talking to Coach Skonecki. He said that was the difference in the game, he felt like, was that 4th inning. That was the one that got out of hand. Outside of that, if you do take away that inning, two teams were tied 3-3. So key for the Bears is just be able to finish this one out a little bit stronger. And this one just about to get rolling here, and we can't wait to bring it to you on Flow Sports. Lenoir-Rhyne is the designated home team today. They flip, so Bears home this one. Catawba will be batting first. In the field for the Bears is going to be Cole Stanford at catcher. Is really as similar as yesterday. Sal Caricato still at first. Cole Liskowski over at second. Nathan Keeter, the shortstop. Eli Willen over at third. Michael Logan over in left field. Mackenzie Wainwright is your center fielder with Owen Blackledge in right field and Will Girardi on the mound, Kyle.
Yeah, Will Girardi coming in with a 3.49 ERA. He's got an 11-2 record, 90 strikeouts, 39 walks.
Dylan Driver will lead off for Catawba. Started it with a big double yesterday. Then it'll be James Dunlap, Sam Hunter, Cole Hales will back cleanup yet again, Hunter Atkins, Nathan Chrisman. Then our lone change for either team's lineup is Sean Shelley, the DH today instead of Cooper Bryson. Then you got Matthew Conley batting in the 8th spot with Ty Hubbard in the 9th hole. Let's start with Catawba first tonight. What is the biggest key for Catawba to close this one out this evening and send them off to Cary for a 2nd consecutive year?
I think the biggest thing for Catawba is staying consistent on the mound. Staying true to themselves on defense. They have one of the best defenses in the country. And then at the plate, just being able to, string together a consistent offense. As we said, I mean, they're the team that likes to score a lot of runs in 1 inning, but a team like LR can make you pay for that.
A Catawba team seeking their 5th ever trip to the Division II National Championships. As for Lenoir-Rhyne, this is their first ever Super Regional, and thus trying to make it to Cary for the first time in program history. Talking to Coach Skonecki last night, he said, we'll give you a good show tomorrow. That's for sure. That was the last thing he said to us in the press conference. What do the Bears need to do to give us that show and do something that is incredibly tough, beating Catawba inside of Newman Park?
Yeah, so I talked about Catawba staying true to themselves on defense. LR needs to do that on offense. They have one of the best offenses in the country. They lead the country in home runs. They have guys on the lineup that are top 10 in hits, home runs, whatever you name it. So being able to put a lot of numbers on the board.
It's the 121st meeting all time between Catawba and LR. South Atlantic Conference rivals facing off right now. Driver launches one in the left field. Shallow ball. Wainwright tracks it down. So a good start for the Bears. Driver on base yesterday. Denied the opportunity today. Got on his first at-bat. Was retired in the following three, or 2 of the following 3. Also had a walk in between there. But a nice start for Lenoir-Rhyne because Driver is this team's most consistent hitter for Catawba. Leads the team in hits.
Yeah, got moved up to the top of the order because he was being so consistent and getting on base. He can hit for power, but mostly known for getting on base with hits.
While Driver's been Mr. Consistent, Mr. Clutch for Catawba has been James Dunlap. He is the reason they stayed in the winner's bracket. Game 1 against Lander last week. Walked it off. Also brought in the winning run in the first game against North Greenville. Yesterday's action, grounded out to second, did advance a teammate, though. Had a double. Also laid down a bunt to advance a teammate, and then flew out to center. Dunlap, ground ball, scooped up. That's a really long throw, and Dunlap, did he beat it? He did. Ooh, a very close call. You could see Keeter really giving it everything he had on the move, floating away from the base. It was close, but Catawba with the speed gets it.
Yeah, Keeter did everything he possibly could in that play, from the fielding to the throw. Just James Dunlap being able to beat it out. And Catawba early swinging on this.
Yes, they are. Sam Hunter going to look to do the same. Back-to-back years, he set the program record for stolen bases for Catawba. Brought in a run in his first at-bat yesterday, grounding out to second. Also got on base thanks to an error. Great played bunt down the third base line. Made it with another well-placed bunt in his following at-bat, and then struck out. The left-hander Girardi, the senior, 6'1", 200 pounds, from Illinois. Bears have tied their best season in program history record-wise, and making the Super Regional here. They have an opportunity to do something they haven't done before, but it's going to come at the cost of them also, or it would come with them also doing something that doesn't happen very much. I mentioned beating Catawba. They don't just have to win today. They have to win tomorrow as well. This is a Catawba team. They have not lost back-to-back home games since last year's. We're going to see Dunlap try to slide and get to second, and he made it. Dunlap squeezed the hand in from behind home plate. It was Stanford who tried to rifle it over. How about Dunlap timing up the steal?
Yeah, taking notes out of Sam Hunter's playbook.
Indeed he is. This is a Catawba team. They have not lost back-to-back games since they played Belmont Appy in Kannapolis, then North Georgia, and then USC Aiken. So a couple of non-conference games, and they lost a string of 3 in a row, all those midweek games, so not even the team's top pitchers, who made a couple appearances but didn't really go like they normally do there. But the last time Catawba, with their starting pitchers, lost back-to-back games, and especially at home, you have to go back to last season, LMU. They lost in the SAC Pod 7-0, and then they ended up going on to lose 8-3 as well, too. There was a game between with Tusculum that Catawba beat 15-4, but that was the last time. It was the Rail Splitters that bested the Catawba Indians there. And what was the key for the Rail Splitters last year? Home runs. They hit 4 in Game 1 and 3 in Game 2. We know Lenoir-Rhyne's capable of playing with some power, too, so that could be their recipe for success today as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The long ball can hurt you or it can help you.
Hunter trying to launch a line drive in, and that one was scooped up out of the air. Wow, diving effort. Leskowski leaves several jaws on the floor in Newman Park early with that play.
Yeah, what a grab.
Good high by Dunlap. He saw it right away. He's like, he might get this. I'm going to start taking a few steps back to first, and that ended up being the case. Cole Hales comes up here. Hales struck out in his first at-bat and then said, hey, just took him an at-bat to see things better. Once he did, the results were big. RBI double. Coach Gant credited that for being one of the turning points in the game, as it was part of that the fourth inning that was incredibly fruitful for Catawba, which they scored 4 runs. Hales going to try and play with some power again here. Wainwright backing up, misplayed it, but then he tracks it down again. One of the top players in the country acquires 2 of the first and early outs here. And as Hales flies out to center, that takes us to the bottom of the first. I mentioned Bears, the designated home team today. They'll have Mackenzie Wainwright batting first with Owen Blackledge following him. Cole Leskowski will bat in the 3rd spot. Sal Caricato batting 4th. Cole Stanford batting in the 5th spot. Eli Willen following him. Then Michael Logan. Hogan Stallings, the DH yet again. And Nathan Keeter. Are you surprised not to see any changes from Lenoir-Rhyne after the offense didn't come up with those timely hits that they normally do?
No, not really. I think it was Owen Blackledge in the press conference yesterday. We asked him what they were going to do maybe differently, and he said absolutely nothing. We're just going to come out here and play baseball.
And Catawba coming out here to play baseball now as well defensively. We're going to have Matthew Conley as the catcher, James Dunlap at first, Ty Hubbard at second, Cole Hales will be over at third with Nathan Chrisman, your shortstop. Hunter Atkins in left field, Sam Hunter in center field, and the 2-time Golden Glove winner, Dylan Driver in right field, playing in what could be his final game ever inside of Newman Park. He is 2 hits away from moving into 4th all-time in hits in this program's history. And then Casey Googe is getting the start on the mound. Second-team all-conference selection. It's been a great campaign by Googe, a guy who earned a role to be the second starter last year after being a weekday starter a year ago.
Yeah, this will be his 16th start of the year. He has a 3.53 ERA, 65 strikeouts to just 29 walks.
Performed well against Lenoir-Rhyne as well. Back when at the SAC Pod, it was Googe who got the start in Game 2. Catawba won Game 1 of that series, 10-3, and then they would go on to win the second 10-4 to prevent there being a Game 3, and Googe was really good in that game overall. He's a guy who stepped up a lot, and Catawba was really impressive in those games there. So we'll have, coming up here now, we'll see what Lenoir-Rhyne is able to do with Wainwright batting first, and he got a home run yesterday, Kyle, so we know he's capable of producing power.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's 4th in the country, at least coming into yesterday's game in home runs, first in hits. You pretty much named the offensive category. This guy, Mackenzie Wainwright, most likely at the top or near the top of it.
Wainwright drove one into right field to get on base in his first at-bat, then leaked a little too far off of first and was caught trying to leak out. Then the 2-run homer, then flew out to center, then grounded out to short to leave one on base earlier. It's been a great year for Lenoir-Rhyne. Mentioned the Bears won 46 games, or 46-13 now. They finished in 23-7 in South Atlantic Conference play. That's good for second. 29-2 at home. Ground ball, squeezes past. Hubbard shifted over. Chrisman couldn't get there. That's a base hit for Wainwright. Starts it off the right way 2 days in a row now.
Yeah, not necessarily a one-way player either. I mean, we said he's a top 5 in hits and home runs, but also leads the country in hits. I mean, guy can mash.
He absolutely can. He was waiting yesterday. The Lenoir-Rhyne Bears in the bottom of the ninth, or top of the ninth, got 2 on base. Keeter was batting. Had Keeter gone on base, a Lenoir-Rhyne team trailing by 4, Wainwright would have been up to bat, and he would have had a chance to do something big. He's a guy capable of hitting those home runs, as we mentioned, too. So it was big for Simerson to come through and get the Bears out there. Owen Blackledge now batting. Fouls this one back. He flew out to center a couple times, grounded out to first, and walked in yesterday's action. Asked Coach Konecki last night what adjustments the team would be making and just what's the mindset going in today. And he said, you know, we won 46 games now, so you want to do what's worked for you. This ball crushed out into center, and Hunter has it in the warning track, forces Wainwright back to first.
Almost maybe having nightmares out there with Sam Hunter. The first 2 balls that Owen Blackledge hit yesterday were out to the wall. The first one, Sam smacked his face against the wall.
He did. Yeah, he collided with it. He was shaken up and was able to hold on for the grab. Cole Liskowski now comes up. He grounded out to second, squeezed a ground ball past first, made it to base on a fielder's choice, and then flew out to the left. So many all-region, a couple of even all-Americans on this Lenoir-Rhyne team. This is an impressive bunch. Leads the nation in hits and home runs. And one thing was clear last night talking to the Bears, they do not want to go home, and they do not want this to be the last time they get to play together as a group. Rouge with a low ball there. Talking to Coach Konecki, as we mentioned, he said, look, we're a team. We've won 46 games. We're fortunate to do that, so we're not going to change anything. We're going with the same approach. Guys like Casey Googe, even though he had success against us last time, we believe in our plan. We believe in our formula, and we believe we have what it takes. He said that we got to come in, hit balls in the middle of the field if we're going to do what we do and if we hit the green, yeah, some of them might be out, but if we hit the green and score runs, it's 2 really good teams going at it, we'll have a chance to come out on top if we do what we do. It's do or die time for us, and we're ready for the challenge. We're up for it. He said he would look forward to seeing how his team would come in and compete. They did a great job of competing early against Catawba yesterday. Even though they didn't score any early runs in that one, Catawba scored 1 in the bottom of the first. Wainwright had the 2-run homer in the top of the third. Liskowski will lift this into shallow left. That's going to put 2 on for the Bears. I mentioned it was 2-1 Bears, and it was entering the bottom of the fourth. That's when Catawba's offense came to life. 4 runs and a part of 4 doubles they ended up collecting. Catawba did during that span. Catawba would score a run in the bottom of the 5th. Bears would score 1 in the top of the 6th. Catawba would add insurance in the bottom of the 8th. And Lenoir-Rhyne, with 2 left on base, wound up losing 7-3, being out-hit 9-7. It was another great game for Payne Stallsworth yesterday. A lights-out performance for Payne. 8 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 of those earned. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts there, too. And he gave up the home run, but outside of that, what a night it was for a guy who has been one of the top pitchers in the conference for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, and that's something that Catawba is probably looking at the scouting report, saying, we know this team is going to hit. There's nothing we can really do about that. As long as you can just minimize who they have on base when it happens, so you can just minimize how many runs are going to come across.
Caricato fouls this one back. Sal Caricato flew out to left, squeezed a ground ball past third to get on, got on base due to a fielder's choice, and then flew out to center. Stallsworth won his 12th game yesterday. That puts him one away from the most ever in a single season. He's tied with Craig Brooks currently and one away from passing Tim Smith. He needs to look at 12 wins, needs 13 all time. Ooh, nearly strike three, crowd in disbelief. Instead, another ball, 2-2 the count, with 2 on, 1 out. Payne's only been here for 2 years, but his 14th wins already puts him at 14th all time.
Yeah, and even in his stint at Division III North Carolina Wesleyan, you knew that he might be a factor.
Caricato took that one off the back. That's loading the bases with just a lone out. Cole Stanford will come up in a moment. He walked in yesterday's action, did drive in a run, and Manny's got a chance to do so here. He also popped out to short and grounded out to second. Googe in the last game he saw, Lenoir-Rhyne, went 5 innings, allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, had 4 strikeouts, and did give up a home run. The bases are loaded with 1 out. Googe and Catawba's defense have been really good this season, but so is the offense of the Bears. It's a clash of greats, great defense, great offense. Catawba known for their timely hitting. Bears have some strong pitching that's put them in a strong position to win a couple times too. Or a lot of times, obviously, on the year, 46 wins. Googe with his back against the wall. Similar spot he found himself to against Lenoir-Rhyne. He allowed an early 2-run homer, and it was a 2 after he walked a batter as well too, which was similar to yesterday's action what we saw with Stallsworth. But after that, he only allowed 2 hits and 2 walks the rest of the way. Catawba has won 9 games in a row when Googe starts. Their last loss came March 8th, so this is the team that finds ways to win when Googe is on the mound. But they're going to find a way to score a run here. Hubbard gets up. That's going to be a high throw, and as it gets away, that's going to bring in another run for Lenoir-Rhyne. So the Bears are going to jump out 2-0. Stanford steps up and puts Lenoir-Rhyne up early.
Yeah, great job to put that ball in play by Stanford, and you put the ball in play, things can happen. And for a defense that doesn't commit a lot of errors can happen. We've seen that in the past few games with this Catawba team, and one error like that, bring another one across. So
3 hits already for Lenoir-Rhyne, and they lead it 2-0 after 1. Still got 2 on base as well. That's the risk when you try to rush that throw. We saw sometimes yesterday both sides, the teams not deciding to try and squeeze one in as they were worried, would we be able to actually get the out or are we going to make a mistake? And Hubbard that time, he also had an error on second yesterday, has another error here early. He's a second-team all-defensive selection at second base, so rare for him to see those kind of mistakes.
Yeah, one of those guys that was heads up on defense yesterday was this guy, Eli Willand.
Yeah, Willand just popped this one up. We'll see if Catawba's got a chance at it. Instead, it will be just out of their reach. So Willen will go back to work, got on base in his first at-bat due to that error at second we were just talking about, then flew out to center, struck out with 1 on a low line drive to short, was retired. Willen, Logan, and Stallings all looking to bat. Still just 1 out for Lenoir-Rhyne. It was Catawba who led early yesterday. Instead, it's the Bears in the bottom of the first, who bear down and lead early. Ground ball, chance at a double play for Catawba. Chrisman looks to do it all himself, and he will. The shortstop stalls the Bears offense, but not before Lenoir-Rhyne put 2 on the board. It is 2-0 Bears as we send it to the second on Flo Sports. Big start for the Bears as they lead it 2-0 early. Catawba going to try and turn their offense around. Hunter Atkins will look to do so, followed by Nathan Chrisman and Cooper Bryson. Lenoir-Rhyne already with 3 hits early. Mentioned they had only 7 yesterday. And this is an offense. When they're held under 10 hits, and that's only been on 19 games on the season, they average over 11 hits in their next game.
Yeah, so a team that's big on vengeance, not wanting to, or maybe feeling a little embarrassed by their performance, is able to bounce back.
Girardi allowed just the 1 hit. So far, Catawba's error proving costly as they put that second run in, too. Girardi faced Catawba in the second game that we mentioned where Gouge got the win. He went 5 innings, allowed 9 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned. Also a walk and then 2 strikeouts in that one. He's a guy who had a 10 strikeout game against Bloomsburg earlier in the year. His most recent outing went 5 against Belmont Abbey, allowed 3 hits, 5 runs, all 5 earned. 4 walks and 4 strikeouts in that one.
And you mentioned that SAC Championship Series Game 2, a 10-4 ball game in which Catawba scored 6 runs in one of those innings. So minus that big inning, it was really a 4-4 ball game.
Atkins able to earn the walk. Got on base in his final at-bat yesterday, was 0 for previous to that. Chrisman now due up. He struck out in his first at-bat, grounded out to short, but brought in a run, was retired on a bunt once, and then got on base due to a well-placed bunt in the second.
Nathan Chrisman's been absolutely phenomenal against LR this season. He's batting .500, 10 for 20.
Former ECU Pirate looking to put one down here. Jim Gant leads the charge for Catawba. 1,000 career wins, back-to-back Conference Coach of the Year. Looking for back-to-back trips to Cary. Adam Skonecki in his first year as head coach, but has been with this Lenoir-Rhyne team for a couple of years. High ball there, and that'll bring out a quick mound meeting now. As we'll have Stanford making his way over there. Lenoir-Rhyne, the 3 seed. Had they won one of those 2 games against Catawba, this is a team that very well likely would have been hosting a pod. Instead, what ended up happening was Catawba and Belmont Abbey get to host. Bears took out their frustrations, launched several home runs. In fact, they had just 3 home runs in their series against Catawba, the 2-game one. The 3 games they played in regionals, 9 home runs, and this is a team 2. They had a 7 home run game against Wingate earlier in the year as well.
Yeah, just a scenario for them going into the regional where Belmont Abbey just had a phenomenal run in the Conference Carolinas tournament and out in Gastonia, and nothing really LR could do about that.
No, it's not. Catawba was able to get through a Lander team, North Greenville. Those first 2 games, both extra innings, both needed those timely hits, and they won a second game against North Greenville too. But a Catawba team that has found themselves trailing a lot and continued to find ways to win frequently. I asked Coach Gant what it's going to take to win the series this weekend, and he said just got to play our game, trust what we do, and not worry about the other stuff, and that's something the players echoed last night. Chrisman fouls it back. Full count, no outs. Catawba looking to bounce back after being bullied by the Bears back in the first. And Chrisman with a good eye. We got another great crowd on hand. This might be one of our best of the season. Lenoir-Rhyne and Catawba both have obviously overflowed our stands, but honestly, the ballpark is not at capacity, obviously, but there are a lot of people in here to check out this super regional.
Especially when Newman Park gets to the phase 2 or phase 3 of the reconstruction project. That's going to be still a lot of fans given the increased seating. So
here goes Sean Shelley. First time we've seen the DH for Catawba in this weekend series. Shelley, a guy who yesterday was Cooper Bryson batting, but Shelley, a second-team all-conference guy, is capable of producing some big and quality hits, including he had a home run against Lenoir-Rhyne in the championship series.
Yeah, that was a huge one. It was a grand slam in that big 6th inning, but he's batting .333 for the year, 29 RBIs, 21 walks, so he gets on base in a variety of ways.
1-1 the count. Shelley showed bunt both times, is pulled back on each of them. The Barry transfer, looking to produce big things here. Bryson had some quality hits yesterday for Catawba, including a double. He's going to play this bunt down the first base line. Lenoir-Rhyne shifts over. The throw to face first is there as Leskowski came over when Caricato came over to cover it up. But now two players in scoring position with one out, and Matthew Conley coming up for Catawba. Conley had an RBI double, the final RBI double for Catawba in that fourth inning. Flew out to center, popped out to second. Flew out to center in his second at-bat as well. Conley, the Surrey Community College transfer, comes up with one out and the tying run at second. These two teams combined to produce 21 individuals to the South Atlantic Conference, all conference teams. Now the last two standing in the region. Conley fouled this one off, too far over. So 0-2 the count. Girardi doesn't have a strike yet so far. Coming off that 4 strikeout game, also had a 7 strikeout game against Carson Newman recently. Good speed from Girardi yet again. The second team all-conference pitcher. He only allowed 1 run through 4 innings the last time he faced Catawba, but then it was after that when things got out of hand. Ended up allowing 5 more after that, but he's gotten the Bears off to some good starts before. Conley hoping to do that here. He's going to drop one into shallow right, and that's going to send in not one, but both Catawba individuals. Conley, a monster RBI single as it ties things up in the top of the second.
Yeah, for a guy coming into this game, batting just 200 against LR for the year, being able to do that, huge to tie it up.
Both Atkins and Chrisman. Seen it a couple of times, the case now throughout this series and baseball in general, I guess, right? So far, teams have walked some guys, put them on base early, and then that comes back to bite them. That's been the theme both days now.
Yeah, especially with, I mean, there was only 1 out in that situation, but a lot of it happening with 2 outs.
Ty Hubbard, 9th man in the order, batting here. Hubbard grounded out to first, flew out to center, and then struck out, and he was the only one who did not get to bat a 4th time. Mackenzie Wainwright made a huge diving out in center to leave 2 on and give Lenoir-Rhyne the chance. Had to come back in the top of the 9th where they couldn't quite do it. Hubbard shows bunt, but he pulls back. It was a quick game yesterday, just barely over 2 hours for these teams. So obviously the heat out, things of that, fatigue could be an effect, but definitely both these teams rested and recharged, and if there's a 3rd game, that will be played tomorrow at 6 p.m. Reminder, Lenoir-Rhyne has to win tonight in order to force it. Catawba win, and they're off to the national championship for the 5th time in program history. And it'll be the 5th since 2012, too. It's a program that's there 6 years, or excuse me, they have 6 years in which they've won 45 or more games, all of which have come under
Jim Gant.
Yes, they have. It's chopped over to first. Caricato wants to hold on to it, and he's able to do so. The potent hitter and first baseman takes care of Hubbard there. Puts Conley on second.
You talk about Jim Gant being able to accomplish so many things in his 29th season career at Catawba. The only one that really sticks out, no national title. They have gotten so close. One of those trips since 2012, getting to the championship series, losing to Tampa. I mean, they want to get back to that platform again.
Yep, got there in 15 and looking to get there again. They got there a season ago, but did not reach that championship game series. We're one of the final 4 teams remaining overall in the pod, but ended up bowing out earlier than they would have liked. So many guys have come back, a couple of key transfers. This is a Bears program. They're just hungry for a taste. At Carey, a team that is looking for their first ever national championship appearance. Dylan Driver would love to do what he can to make it happen, and he is dejected as he popped that one up. In the shade, having trouble tracking it down, but then doing so is Willen. It took him a moment, but he's able to get Catawba. He's able to retire Driver, but not before the Catawba Indians score 2 runs, and now this is a 2-2 game. Michael Logan due up here for Lenoir-Rhyne. It's going to be Logan, followed by Willen. Oh, excuse me, actually Stallings, then Keeter. Willen ended up hitting into that double play to bring to a close the first. It was a productive one, but Catawba able to bounce back and produce some key runs of their own. Catawba up to 2 hits, Bears with 3. Logan absolutely eviscerates this one in the center, but there is Hunter. Logan got on base in his final at-bat yesterday, was previously 0 for. Stallings, speaking of 0 for, he started out with 3 strikeouts, but he did get on his final at-bat. Crushed one in the center. Being the DH, wasn't sure if we'd see him come out to bat with his team trailing by 4 runs, but so was sent out and was able to produce. And guy who's hit a home run against Catawba. In fact, he's hit one against Googe before, so they'll hope he can get another one here. Googe's most recent outing went 5-1 innings against North Greenville. Allowed 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, at 8 strikeouts, 4 walks, and a home run. Those 8 strikeouts were his most since the 10 he had against Shippensburg. That performance earning him Region Pitcher of the Week, too. Stallings, line drive, escapes the hand of Hales. Stallings slips one through, puts himself on first with 1 out in the bottom of 2.
Yeah, and going against the shift, no less, Hales was the only infielder really on the left side of second base.
Nathan Keeter back up. He got on in his first at-bat with a line drive, then grounded out to short. Chopped out to third and struck out. And his strikeout was what gave Simerson and Catawba that big win yesterday. One thing that favors the Bears in this matchup is Googe has allowed a home run 4 games in a row. In fact, he's allowed 5 home runs in his last 4 games, including one the last time he faced off against Lenoir-Rhyne. Bears trying to swing a hot bat, but Hunter has other plans out in center field, selling out for the outs. Hunter trying to match Mackenzie Wainwright, making some memorable plays in center.
Yeah, a lot of guys out on the field today that can certainly make plays. This Catawba defense, especially being one of them, 5 of the 9 selected to the SAC all-defensive team.
The situation is very similar to the last time Wainwright was up to bat. His team has scored a little different, but 1 on, and a chance to obliterate one as he did. He hit a home run in his last at-bat. He was hoping to swing for the fences here. This one's going to drop in shallow center, plays it well. Hunter unable to find it in the sun. And then he will finally get it in. But wow, looked like at first it was just going to hang in there, be an easy out for Catawba. Instead, Wainwright gets on base yet again and gets a double after it was misplayed by Hunter.
Yeah, the ball just essentially died there. Looked like it was going to carry more toward where Hunter was playing, and instead just drops about 20 feet shy.
When Blackledge comes up here, Blackledge, a guy you know is really looking to try and make something happen here. We got to talk to him yesterday, and you could tell the frustrations were there, but he knows this team is close. They don't need to change anything drastic, and he's excited to have an opportunity here to try help his team. He said nothing really caught them by surprise in the game, but it was, 2 good teams going at it. We just need to handle each 1 through 9 and not try to do too much, especially in a big game. Just there's no hiding, no tricks at this point. Just got to go out there and do it. 2 Bears in scoring position with 2 outs. Lenoir-Rhyne up to 5 hits already after only mustering 7 yesterday. Stallsworth had them struggling yesterday offensively. Blackledge hoping to open up the scoring again here. Googe with 2 outs in a good spot. We mentioned some of the home run things that Googe has allowed. Well, this is a Catawba team that allows home runs. In fact, in their last 6 games in a row, they've allowed a home run, and 9 of their last 10.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that Catawba's won the last 4 times they faced an LR team that really specializes in that.
It's a Catawba team that's won 16 times in a row, too. We mentioned they've been flirting with danger and losses frequently, but always come through. The mark of a good team, trying to be great and earn a trip to Cary. Speaking of great, the Bears offense, exactly that. Blackledge, 2-1 the count here. Googe loaded the bases up back in the first. Looking to avoid doing so in the bottom of the second. Blackledge fouls it back here. Owen Blackledge, 12th in balls on bases entering this weekend. 18 doubles, is 49th. His 74 hits, ranked 78th, and his 13 home runs is tied for 84th. We talked yesterday about do you intentionally walk Mackenzie Wainwright at some points, but you risk putting Blackledge on base, which is not something you ever risk bringing Blackledge up with a guy on base, which is something that's dangerous with his potent power.
Yeah, we talked about what happens if you intentionally walk somebody in this lineup. It's like you might end up facing like another 350-plus hitter, so I mean, you got to be careful when you do that.
2-2 the count. Googe looking to close out the bottom of the second, not allowing any Bears runs, trying to send us to the third, all tied up. May have done it, he will not have, as this one is fouled off too far over for anyone to have a chance at it. A great crowd here at Newman Park, taking in Southeast Super Regional action on Flow Sports. We appreciate all of you for joining and spending your Friday evening with us. Catawba wants to close it out in 2 games against the Bears for the second time this season, both with championship aspirations. These teams, but only one can move on. A Catawba team that has now won 9 SAC titles all time after besting the Bears in that series. All of those coming since 2002, so once again, Jim Gant era. They've also won 16 SAC regular season titles, and that SAC title they won, their most recent, the one they won in 25, was their first since 19, so it had been a bit. And the Bears obviously would have loved to claim one too, so no doubt so frustrated, and that's still on their mind, seeking vengeance and a win today. But Googe is going to win the battle with Blackledge early. Bears will leave 2 on base as Googe has got it going for Catawba after a rough start. Top of the third next. We're all tied at 2 apiece. James Dunlap hoping to produce for Catawba here in the top of the third. James Dunlap, the last time he led off batting for Catawba yesterday after the first 2 innings, it was in the fourth, today in the third. He helped spearhead and start a run that was 4 doubles for Catawba in the bottom of the fourth, and they produced 4 runs. And as we talked about, that was really the difference in yesterday's action too.
You talked about being the difference maker. He was the one that played the go-ahead run and the walk-off win against Lander in the regional slate. So, I mean, he's been big on a variety of occasions for Catawba.
One thing Dunlap does incredibly well is just not strike out. I mean, entering this weekend is 234 at-bats. He'd only struck out 16 times. That's just 6% of his at-bats, and his K average is 14.6 strikeouts for every at-bat. His veteran eye has been a remarkable presence for Catawba, especially when you had a guy like Bo Rusher last year who was up there an all-time single-season record holder for walks.
Yeah, Dunlap coming into this series, 32nd in the country, toughest to strike out.
2-2 the count. In the left field, it sails. It takes a bounce before it reaches the wall. Dunlap rounding first. And we mentioned Dunlap and Catawba produced a lot of doubles when he led off after 2 yesterday, and he starts the top of 3 with a double.
Now if you take the small ball approach, Sam Hunter, a guy that can help you do just that.
Yeah, bunted a lot yesterday and really effectively too. His speed, we talked about that, those program records, some of the stolen base stuff he's been able to do and produce too. And a huge part of Catawba's success the past 2 years, hoping to help them successfully take a lead in the top of the third here. Bunts this one up. It goes back. Not enough air on it, and it's captured by Stanford. So a costly miscue by Catawba there.
Yeah, and if you don't take the small ball approach, what you can do is take the traditional approach, which is hit the ball. That is something that Cole Hales has done quite often this year.
Yeah, Hales has been absolutely remarkable. His .399 batting average entering the weekend was the 54th best in the country, 37 balls on base too, and his 77 hits rank 77th. Hales had that huge double yesterday. Coach Gant credited him for being the one who really helped spark, one of the ones who helped spark this offense. Telly's eager to swing for the fences here. A booming double would have a chance to bring in Dunlap. Catawba being out hit by the Bears by 2 right now. Yes, it's Catawba with the lead. High delivery to Hales there. Gradisar got the start yesterday, went 6 innings, ended up allowing 6 hits, 6 runs. 3 of those ended up being earned. 4 strikeouts and a walk. Kept Catawba quiet outside of the 4th that we've mentioned multiple times now. Then Laird came in, went 2 innings, just allowed those 3 hits and a run, which was earned, also had 2 strikeouts. Bears used 7 pitchers in the game 2 against Catawba and Ashboro. Obviously would not like to do that today.
Yeah, that was a game where LR was pretty strong pitching-wise to start that game, and then the 6-run, 6th inning really just made them keep going back to the bullpen to try to find answers.
It's actually going to be a tough play. Have to turn, make the throw, but the Bears are able to do it. Great work that time by Girardi coming off the mound. Will Girardi collected it, got it over to Caricato. A tough play made easy by the Bears.
Yeah, just a phenomenal job there by Girardi. We saw Payne Stolzberg make a similar play yesterday. Just something you don't always see out of pitchers. You know, they're so focused on the guy at the plate trying to pitch. Sometimes you have just a bad feeling play, or you sail it over the first baseman because you're stuck in pitching mode. But a great way to bounce back.
Girardi up to bat. Atkins up to bat for Catawba. Girardi facing off against him. Catawba in danger of leaving a man on base. That's something Catawba did well yesterday. Hit with two outs. Hit with multiple guys on. Brought their runners in scoring position. Cole Stanford, the catcher, we saw make that a nice out on Hunter just a few bats ago. He said they felt like that was the difference in the game, is they executed the ugly stuff better than we did. They hit with the 2 outs, runners in scoring position. There's times on defense, both pitching and in the field, it felt like his team didn't execute. And the message today is simple. Just go in and play with our hair on fire, our backs against the walls, and time to figure out what we're made of. Are we going to just let it happen, or are we going to fight our way out of this corner?
There's a few terms in there, just fire up, hair on fire, and executing the ugly stuff.
Yeah.
That's something, especially from a baseball player, being able to admit, like, yeah, the fundamentals may not be shiny, but you need to do them.
Coach Skonecki was the first one to use hair on fire in yesterday's press conference, too, talking about the mentality he wants his team to play with. And it was great getting to talk with Coach Skonecki, too. Obviously, the circumstances for him, the tough being a loss, but you could just tell in a moment like that, and he even said jokingly in the press conference before we started, these are a lot less fun when we're losing. You can tell why he has been able to lead this Lenoir-Rhyne team to immense success. Speaking of immense success, that's what Girardi just had in the at-bat against Atkins, because he strikes him out. Dunlap is stranded on first, and the 2-2 tie is protected going into the bottom of 3. Cole Leskowski, 2 up for the Bears to begin the bottom of 3. Leskowski, Caricato, and Stanford all set to bat in our tie game. Southeast Super Regional, just one of several going on across the country, and it's going to be exciting to see. We got 16 teams right now, soon be down to just 8, and to see who's going to be our 2025 Division II National Champion.
Two teams already have punched their ticket. Tampa being in the South Regional, as well as Central Missouri. So 2 of the 8 spots filled, 6 left up for grabs.
Last year's national champion still alive. This ball drifting to foul territory. We were talking about Coach Skonecki a little bit, but hard not just come away with his leadership in the press conference yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. A guy that, may not have maybe a first-time head coach at LR, but certainly a guy that feels like, makes you feel like he's been there before.
Googe has been here before for Catawba in a big moment. Will get a strike there to even the count 2 apiece. Leskowski dropped one into shallow center. 5 Bear hits already, only 7 yesterday. Strike 3, Leskowski goes down looking. First time he struck out this weekend.
Also just the second time he's struck out against Catawba this year. So a big out there for Casey Googe to get around Leskowski.
Sal Caricato coming up, entering the weekend, was 88th in doubles with 16, 74 hits, tied for the 78. Got 84 RBIs too, 5th in base on balls, or 5th in baseball, excuse me, and then 9 home runs is 9th in home runs with 22 as well. There are really no breaks, as we mentioned, with this Lenoir-Rhyne lineup. Googe up for the task. Yielded a home run, but stalled them out prior to that. This is a monster hit. Crushed deep going, and it rifled off the wall. It bounced so hard off the wall that Catawba's got a chance to get the out at second, but Caricato slides in, and he left his knee on the bag. Oh, my gosh, he hit it so well it almost cost him.
One of those hits that may have been a home run almost at any other ballpark, but Catawba with like a 20-foot wall out there. It hit about 3/4 up it. Just a great job there from Caricato.
It's one of the farthest I've seen a ball bounce off the brick this season, and it allowed it to go right to Hunter, and Hunter was there, so that's why it ended up being a little close at second, and you mentioned at almost any ballpark, that's a home run. I was just thinking as we were there, Catawba's held Lenoir-Rhyne in check so far. Yesterday they gave up the 2-run homer to them in the 3rd, and they don't want to do that today. Caricato nearly gets one on him there. This one fouled off, but man, are the Bears swinging a hot bat right now. Stanford showing off some power as he fouled it off.
Yeah, that might have went about 360, 370, and you can't see it on the broadcast potentially, but down the left field line, that's 345. So had he kept that fair, that would have been gone by a good bit.
Googe will reset here. No, 1 out, leading run at second if they can bring him in. Caricato residing there. Stanford, a first-team National College Baseball Writers Association, second-team All-American writers selected him as well, too. Guy that's produced a lot. Home run against Belmont Abbey, a home run against North Georgia. 7 games in a row with a hit. Coming off a 7-hit, 6 RBI, 3 home run showing in the Southeast Regional. And they'll say he did go there, so 2-2 the count. Stanford brought in a run in his last at-bat. Then the air ended up leading to another run coming in from Hubbard at second. Also brought in a run yesterday. He's got a chance to bring in the leading run here. Stanford smashed it back deep, and there's no doubt about it. That is out of here. Stanford steps up, shows up, and lets Lenoir-Rhyne take the lead. 4-2, 2-run blast. Again in the top of the 3rd. Deja vu, but this time it's Stanford.
Yeah, Stanford, he, on that first pitch of that at-bat, sent one about 370 to the other side of the foul line. Put that one probably 370, 380 on the right side. 4-2 lead for LR.
We talked about it with Googe. He's given up home runs frequently. Catawba now, it's the 11th game. They've 7th game they've given up a home run in a row. 10 of their last 11 they've now allowed a home run. And Googe himself, that it will be his 5th game in a row yielding a home run. He's given up 6 in that span. We'll see if he can bounce back now. It was a few weeks ago against Limestone. Gave up a home run, struck someone out, then gave up a home run right after. Eli Willen capable of playing with some power too for the Bears. He hit into that double play to end the productive bottom of the first for the Bears. Ten home runs for Willen on the season. Googe, a guy that can win in multiple ways. Talking to Coach Gant about Casey Googe. He said he can just do different things with different pitches, does what he needs to. When given home runs, he's usually able to bounce back, but doing so against an offense like the Bears, a different feat. Willen fouls it back. Lenoir-Rhyne, 7 hits yesterday. They have 7 in the and just already, we're not even through the bottom of 3. Popped up. Hale's hoping he can grab it, and he won't be able to. Willen will take a moment and reset. Third team, all-conference third baseman. He has 3 separate 3-hit games on the season, Willen does. Fouls yet another back, 1-2 the count. It's 1 for 3 in game 1 against North Georgia, and against Belmont Abbey was 1 for 4, but did add a homer. And in game 2 against the Nighthawks was 1 for 3. Another fouled back by Willen. The Bears know the importance of this one. Are batting and protecting every at-bat they can. Hoping to secure themselves with another game against Catawba tomorrow. Catawba 3-1 against Lenoir-Rhyne on the season. Catawba did beat the Bears the last time they came to Newman Park in the regular season. That was the final game for both teams in the regular season, as well as last year in the SAC pod. Walked them off. Googe forces Willen to walk away as he strikes him out.
Yeah, great job from Googe to battle through that at bat. We've seen it a lot in the postseason so far. Both the batters and pitchers fighting and scraping in these at bats, going deep.
Logan comes up to bat. Catawba won their 78th all-time game against Lenoir-Rhyne. The all-time series is 78-42 in total. Logan fouls it back there. Catawba has won 46 of the 46 games, only lost 19 times to Lenoir-Rhyne and Salisbury, and Catawba's now won 7-4 against the Bears in the last 11 games. Ground ball, Hubbard has his hands on it. And Catawba gets out the bottom of the third, but it's already the second inning in which Lenoir-Rhyne has added 2 runs. The homer from Stanford. He's a standout star this one early as he has the Bears up by 2 runs. And we head to the 4th. We move into the fourth now. It's a 4-2 Lenoir-Rhyne lead. Nathan Chrisman, Sean Shelley, and Matthew Conley all come up for Catawba. Then Hubbard is the last man if we reach him in the order before we turn it back over to the top. Bears already matched their hit total from yesterday. Kyle, how have they done it?
By correcting what they needed to correct. They admitted that in the press conferences yesterday that they felt their offense wasn't coming together as they liked. So definitely being able to make those changes and stay true to themselves.
That's what Catawba will try to do here, and that's something that both these teams have preached throughout the season, is just play our game and the rest will take care of itself. Chrisman walked in his last at-bat. Last time the Bears made the trip out to Salisbury was on April 29th after losing the game at Lenoir-Rhyne 7-4. Catawba led 2-0 after one, thanks to Hales and Bryson. And there were no runs till Conley brought in one in the fourth. And in the fifth, Caricato had the home run, got Lenoir-Rhyne's first run. The Bears scored 5 runs in the fifth and sixth combined, as Chrisman is retired there. And I'll bring up Shelley. Finishing the recap on yesterday. Then for Catawba, after Lenoir-Rhyne was able to come back, Catawba was able to stretch things out, scoring 2 in the fifth, all tied entering the seventh until Conley, Hubbard, and Hales all drove in key runs. Catawba would close the game on a 4-2 run. Catawba held on the ninth as Simerson struck out Stalling and Willing for the win with 2 left on. Catawba was able to squeeze out a win there. And then the 2 wins in dominant fashion, as we mentioned, at the SAC pods, where Catawba outscored Lenoir-Rhyne 20-7 with a 25-17 difference in hits. Lenoir-Rhyne continues not to allow any hits, as Shelley will ground out to second. Catawba's offense grounding to a halt here. No runs for Catawba in the top of 3. Could be in danger of being the same thing in the top of 4. Matthew Conley hoping he can change that. He had a huge hit in his last at-bat, drove into those 2 runs for Catawba. High delivery there brings us to a 1-1 count. Conley, the catcher, with a strong game last night. He had 12 strikeouts in his last 8 games, but did not strike out yesterday. In danger of doing so here, though, after a big swing and miss that time. Catawba trailing by 2 runs, was hoping for a response here in the top of the fourth. Girardi 1 out away from concluding Catawba's bats. Ground ball, Leskowski leaves no doubt yet again that Lenoir-Rhyne is ready to play today. And they got, in the blink of an eye, they're back to bat. The Bears will be in a moment. Hogan Stallings set to lead us off here in the bottom of the fourth. So it'll be Stallings, Keeter, and then we'll turn over to the top of the order. Lenoir-Rhyne with all the momentum right now. A very quick top of the fourth for Catawba. Stallings chopped this one into the dugout of Catawba. And as we mentioned earlier, there are multiple other super regional games going on right now. Kyle, what can you tell us about those other games?
Yeah, Tampa and Central Missouri coming out of their super regionals. They'll be going to Cary, but also still active. Franklin Pierce has one loss against Felician. Felician 1 game away from going to Cary. Indy surrendered a loss in yesterday's game, came back to tie that series 1-1 against Northwood. Indy, a team that was in Cary last year. Northwest Nazarene up 1-0 in their series against CSU Monterey Bay. Angelo State took a loss yesterday. They are going up against UT Tyler. They're up 1-0 in that series. And East Stroudsburg up 1-0 in their series against Seton Hill.
A lot of great action going on across the country as the Division II Baseball Championship Tournament rolls on. Stallings popped it up. Chrisman calls off his teammates and collects the first out. Stallings with a line drive to get on base in his last at-bat. Keeter flew out to center. He hopes to land on base here. Jim Gann, after Catawba's win yesterday, said he credited a lot of it to Payne Stallsworth and Cole Hales as well, too. Just said the starting pitching is key to everything. Timely hits from Cole were big, too. Was worried early when Ty had that double play, that play that it would have been a double play. He botched it, but Catawba was able to get out of it, not allowing any runs, too. Could have been a double play, he said, but then, it was an opening that didn't end up hurting us, and we were able to pitch around it. We already saw once Catawba got hurt by one of their errors today. This could be a one-run game instead, two-run game right now. Keeter flew out to center once, fouled this one off. Bear shortstop, hoping to step up here for Lenoir-Rhyne. 4-2 the lead, 7-3 the difference in hits. We mentioned Lenoir-Rhyne already matching yesterday's output of hits. A team that averages 11 hits, or more than 11 hits when they underperform and get under 10 in a game. And obviously for most teams it's not underperforming, but Lenoir-Rhyne's offense, it technically is when you look at how they produced all the year.
Yeah, it's not every day that you really have a single and it's like, oh, that's below average.
A special offense, a special season for the Bears. Catawba has had a special season of their own, but only one can go on. Another ball in the foul territory. Googe, after giving up the home run in the game against Lenoir-Rhyne, ended up going the next few innings for Catawba and only allowed 2 hits and 2 walks over the next few innings until he was taken off the mound in that one. Oh, Googe gears up and strikes out Keeter. Goes down looking there. Mackenzie Wainwright now up to bat here for the Bears. We did it yesterday, but we might as well do it for him again. Mackenzie Wainwright's accolades. National College Baseball Writers Association Southeast Region Player of the Year, D2 CAA Southeast Region Player of the Year, Conference Player of the Year. That's without mentioning some of the other stuff. Entering the weekend, the 20th best batting average in the country. His 103 hits lead the country. 37 walks is 70th. He's got 23 doubles. 74 RBIs is 18th in D2. He's 5th in D2 in hits per game at 1.7. And his 24 home runs is tied for 4th in the country. Googe is getting better of him right now, though. Quickly an 0-2 count facing Wainwright with 2 outs in the bottom of 4.
Yeah, one of the hardest challenges of the year easily for Googe against the guy that came into the series, leading hits, runs, and total bases.
Wainwright launches one. It's going to bounce in shallow right, then reaches the warning track from there. Wainwright, a veteran eye that time. Just a heads-up play by the sophomore as he turns back to first.
Yeah, actually, Dylan Driver played that extremely well. Didn't let it go to the wall, backhanded it, and able to get the ball in quickly. That's what you expect out of your 2-time Gold Glover.
He is now at a hit in 3 at-bats today. Wainwright with the Bears season on the line has looked strong. Owen Blackledge eager to get back up. He struck out and left 2 on earlier. Googe is up to 4 strikeouts on the game now. The most recent one coming against Keeter. Bears, the 16th ranked team in the country at the time of the final region poll, or excuse me, the time of the final National College Baseball Writers Association poll, but they were a top 10 team earlier in the season too. Blackledge's second team D2CA selection, first team National College Baseball Writers Association, first team all conference too. Had a home run in the first game against North Georgia. Was 1 for 4 overall. Then against Belmont Abbey was 2 for 5 with 2 runs and an RBI. Was 0 for 2 versus North Georgia in the second game. Guy who earlier in the year had a span in which he produced 6 RBIs over the course of 2 games. Sixth meeting of the year, second time the Bears have seen Googe. Pickoff attempt to first won't work on Wainwright. It did yesterday one time for Stallsworth and Dunlap. That was after he had gotten on base, a big momentum changer as he got on, and then Catawba got a second out right after. Against Blackledge. 2-1 the count here, 2 outs. Another pickoff over to first. Bears said it themselves. They were backed into a corner, back against the walls. How would they respond? So far, Lenoir-Rhyne, impressive. Already more runs than yesterday, too. Good eye by Blackledge not going there. They appealed down to first. 3-1 the count. Crowd cheering on Googe. Blackledge did not swing on strike 2. So 2 outs, 1 on. Bears trying to stretch the lead, out hitting Catawba 8-3 currently. Full count. Googe likes the call from Conley. Checks over to first. Now ready to deliver. And a walk. Blackledge with the impressive eye gets on base. Second walk of the weekend for Blackledge. Cole Leskowski had to walk. He struck out in his last at-bat, then got on base after he placed one out in shallow center. Catawba pitching coach Greg Brown going to make his way over to the mound. Jeremy Simpson, also a part of this Catawba staff. Coach Gann always gives a ton of credit to his assistants for the work that they put in and what they've helped this team accomplish on the season. Coach Gann as well complimentary of the guys like Joe Bergeson, Curtis Owen, Brett Mulkey, Zach Allman, all helping out. Coach Gann's 29th season. Mentioned quite the difference for Coach Skonecki in his first year. He's got Micah Bumfield, Brian Hodge, Brock Hughes, Michael Allen, Blake Bean, Brian Coleman. It takes a strong effort to run a college baseball team, and both these teams with their staff's a huge part of the reason that each of them have had a lot of success on the season.
Yeah, and if anybody, it's Coach Skonecki that would know that. He was, spent 5 years on the Lenoir-Rhyne staff. He was an assistant coach and an associate head coach for a while. He was a head coach at Division III, Southern Vermont College, a defunct institution, but also spent time at University of Buffalo, Division I. And that was his alma mater. He graduated from Buffalo in 2010.
I bring up Cole Leskowski here. Leskowski did not go on the first one. A good job by him pulling back. Wainwright at second. Blackledge over at first. Won the walk against Googe. Googe with a strong delivery there.
Definitely a pitch that divided the crowd.
Indeed. A Catawba team that has won 19 straight regular season series. Ground ball trapped for a moment, but knocking down, still getting it. Crispin will reset. He's going to throw home. Wainwright shows off the wheels. He gets there in time. Mackenzie Wainwright, Conference Region Player of the Year, puts another run on the board for the Bears. I don't know how Chrisman stopped the ground ball, but then how about Wainwright saying, I can beat it? Now, I don't know if a lot of guys would have been able to, but he did exactly that. And that's going to do it for Googe. A quick poll from Coach Jim Gant. So Catawba is going to change pitchers with the Bears taking a 3-run lead. We'll tell you who they're turning to when we return on Flow Sports. Catawba makes the change on the mound early. Casey Googe done. Not even through 4 innings completely. And now it's Braden Major who comes in, the normal weekday starter. 5'11", 170, a right-handed junior who has seen action against the Bears before. But what can you tell us is he's getting ready to face off against Sal Caricato.
Yeah, this will be Major's 21st appearance of the year. He has a 3.89 ERA with 30 strikeouts and 18 walks. And he was really part of that bullpen that helped Catawba get out of their regional.
Yes, he was. He came in a big spot. There were 2 on, and he was able to get both of the. He was able to get a massive couple outs against North Greenville at the time, the Trailblazers, and that's a really good program too. One that won the national title a couple years ago, and this is the first time in 7 years they hadn't hosted a regional either. Speaking of really good, that's what Caricato is. He ripped that double off the wall earlier. This one he pops up. Chrisman sees it. And able to capture it. So even though Wainwright came home, thanks to the RBI from Liskowski, Catawba leaves 2 Bears on base. Major comes in, quiets things quickly. We go on to the 5th. 5-2, Lenoir-Rhyne with the lead. Ninth man in the order, number 9, Ty Hubbard, batting here to begin the 5th. Catawba, the designated visitors today, after being home yesterday. It'll be Hubbard batting here, then the top of the order due up, and Catawba needs to manufacture some offense. It was good for Major to come in and quiet things, but Catawba hoping Hubbard can land on base. Yesterday's action, grounded out to first, flew out to center, and struck out. He's 0 for 4 overall after grounding out to first already once today, too.
Yeah, Dudley wants to just flip around his luck, seemingly.
Catawba ended up leaving 2 Bears stranded on, so this one could be worst. Lenoir-Rhyne up to 9 hits already, 2 more than they had in the entire game yesterday. They had more success against Googe. Now they'll face Major. Look at Hubbard's recent games. Was 0 for 3 against Lander, was 1 for 4 against North Greenville, and then also 0 for 2 in that second game. He has walked a couple times, walked 5 times in our regional last week. He'll have a chance to get on base here with a walk, but it's a 2-2 count. Girardi still going strong for Lenoir-Rhyne. Gave up those 2 runs. Conley drove in both of them back in the top of the second, but in the third and fourth, no runs allowed, and just 3 hits for Catawba so far. Chopped over to first. This one stays fair. Caricato likes to win the race, sprints it out, and retires Hubbard for another at-bat. That's how it's gone both times with Hubbard. So Dylan Driver up here for Catawba. Flew out to center, popped out to third. He was a guy, he started out the Southeast Regional with a bang, the first round at least, with a great game. Driver did, facing off against Lander. And then was 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a home run. But in game 2 against the Trailblazers, he was 0 for 6. Sometimes he goes cold, and Catawba cannot afford to have him do that right here.
No, absolutely. If you're wanting to be hot at any time, this is the time.
High delivery by Girardi there. Talked about Lenoir-Rhyne's offense bouncing back after they get under 10 hits. It's definitely looks like they're heading for that 11 hit mark right now.
Yeah, it seemed that against Catawba has been averaging just under 9 hits a ball game, and they're already there in just half the time.
Catawba team that has come back from down before. And obviously 3 runs and for any team in baseball isn't much, so this one far from over. Fourth inning was kind to Catawba yesterday. See if it produces the same results here. Wow, Girardi, the reactions, elite. And the out at first. Another one for the Bears. I don't know how he grabbed that, Kyle.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a really, really tough play. I mean, having to reach across the body and still make the play over at first. I mean, great job by Girardi.
Girardi's reactions impressive. And lead to 2 outs now. The fourth inning, the difference in the game yesterday. But right now, looking like it could be a quick one, thanks to Girardi really settling in. And you see this with pitchers sometimes. Takes them an inning, or Girardi's case too, and once they round into form, the results for the opposition, devastating. Dunlap back up. He had a double in his last at-bat. Also squeezed a ground ball past short. He was a guy who he struggled in that first game against the Trailblazers. We talked about Driver's struggles, but you flip him for Dunlap. It was 2 for 6 for Lander until that late hit. And then in game 2 was 3 for 6 against North Greenville. So even though he had the clutch hit, it was kind of the classic case of the guy who didn't do a ton in the game and then comes up big. He was better in game 2 and hoping to bring some life into Catawba offensively. 3-1 the count now. Dunlap drives one into shallow right field, and a man on base for Catawba. Dunlap 3 for 3 to start the day.
That's the thing about this Catawba lineup. If you have guys that are maybe not having their day, it's big to have a guy that is. You know, you might be pairing a no-hit guy with a 3-hit guy, and still just got to have that balance.
Catawba with 4 hits now, entering the fourth yesterday. They had managed just one, then erupted for 4. But now we're here in the 5th for this Catawba team. Catawba themselves only mustered 9 hits, or not only, but mustered 9 hits yesterday, so 5 away from that pace. Hunter tried to bunt in his last at-bat. Catawba's offense really hasn't been right since that bunt. The bunt that went backwards, if that's played down better and he lands on first, could be different results for this team. He was also retired on a line drive to second earlier. 2 outs in the top of the 5th, so Hunter has to be careful. Takes a big hack, getting nothing that time, so now 1-2 the count. Did strike out in his final at-bat yesterday. That one to the outside. Lenoir-Rhyne really wanted it there and thought it was a good delivery. Hunter in the 3 games for Catawba was 1 for 4 against Lander. 2 for 4 against Lander with an RBI. And second game was 2 for 6 with an RBI. It was 2 for 5 in game 2 against the Trailblazers. Trying to pick up some offense here. Ground ball. Leskowski has it. Takes his time to make sure he can deliver an accurate throw, and he will. Girardi snatching the joy away from Catawba right now. It's 3 consecutive innings in which they haven't scored. Bears still leading by 3, batting when we return from the break. Braden Major was able to get Catawba out of a difficult spot when he came on with 2 outs. It's the second time now Catawba's put him in with 2 outs, and he's not allowed any runs. He's hoping to do that now here. Again, Cole Stanford, Eli Willing, and Michael Logan. Catawba's defense is going to need to limit this Bears offense, while Catawba's offense tries to get going. It's a really good Catawba team. Entering the weekend, they had the top fielding percentage in the country overall. This Catawba group did. .985 with only 31 errors. Was the least in the country. LR has 71 errors and was .965 for fielding percentage on the season. Stanford, the 2-run homer when he was last up. Catawba's now given up a home run. 10 of their last 11. Stanford slips. He's trying to figure out Major. Well, reminder, Major did see the Bears earlier in the season. Bluefield State transfer. Game 1 against Lenoir-Rhyne went 4 innings, got the start, allowed 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Did yield a home run. Ball sent into center where Hunter waits on it.
Yeah, and that's the thing we were talking about yesterday with Payne Stolesworth, how he's only seen them really once, and because the offensive has seen each other quite often, but the pitching not necessarily, because Catawba only saw LR in the midweek contest when you're not typically going to go with your weekend rotation.
Last appearance for Major was 1-1 inning against North Greenville. Mentioned the 0-2 outs he got in the key spot for Catawba late in that game, but then they turned to Simerson after that. His last outing against the Trailblazers, 2 strikeouts and a walk as well. You need a deep bullpen if you want to have a chance in carry and even just to get to a point like this. Catawba has that. Eli Willen up here, struck out and hit into a double play. It was big for Catawba to get Stanford out. He'd driven in 3 of the team's 5 runs already. Mentioned the great crowd on hand. Limited surface area available behind home plate. Dunlap captures it. Line drive over to first. North Dakota State transfer at the ready for it.
Yeah, just like that, 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th for LR.
Major showing why he has the confidence of Coach Gant. We talked about Gooch, second all-region guy. He would have had a chance to maybe get this Catawba team out of it, but now it's Major going up against Michael Logan. Logan grounded out to second and flew out to center so far today. Logan was 2 for 5 in his last game against North Georgia, excuse me. Game 2 in the second game had an RBI in that one too. Was 3 for 5 against Belmont Abbey after an 0 for 4 showing in game 1 against the Trailblazers. Logan fouled it off. This could be just what Catawba needs potentially, is a strong defensive outing here. Lenoir-Rhyne only scored a few runs in yesterday's action. But the Bears offense already putting up a 5 on the board. Just the 3 runs yesterday. Already passed hits and runs so far. Low delivery to Logan. Lenoir-Rhyne in the bottom of 5 with 2 outs. Logan fouled it back. Catawba's now hosted Super Regionals 2 years in a row. They bested a tough Georgia College and State University team in 2 games at the Supers a season ago to book their ticket to carry. Logan fouled it off yet again.
And although Georgia College was not in the regional bracket this season, I mean, the other Peach Belt representatives of the Lander and North Georgia were quite potent themselves.
Yes, they were. Very strong region for baseball. 160 combined wins just at last week's SAC pot alone. Coach Gant telling me that was actually the most in Division II, so a really impressive resume for those teams there. Catawba won the first game against Georgia College and State University 9-6, and the second one 8-0. Dominant outing in that one. Payne Stallsworth, Austin Fine, the starting pitchers for Catawba as they put away the Bobcats and punch the ticket to carry. Got some work to do tonight if they hope to punch a ticket to carry tonight. Lenoir-Rhyne looking to lift their lead, though. Definitely not feeling good, just up 3 runs. I don't know if you ever feel good when you have a lead against a team like either of these teams, though, right, Kyle?
No, not at all. You got Catawba, who can put up a lot of runs in 1 inning, then just all the bats for LR.
This place was very anxious yesterday when Mackenzie Wainwright was on deck. And even just before, you had the top of the 9th. You know, you're up by 4. Normally you feel a little bit better, but it was like, hey, this is a Bears team. We know what they're capable. Talked about those home run numbers yesterday. I mean, it's so impressive. I mean, they have 126 home runs. Now it's 127. Next closest entering the weekend, MSU Denver at 118. Catawba only has 45 home runs, which is 104. Logan with a good eye. He earns the walk, much to the chagrin of the Catawba faithful. Strong bat from Logan. Gonna bring up the DH Stallings. Popped out to second earlier and a line drive in his last at bat to get on, or his first at bat to get on base. One on for the Bears. Major reacclimates himself with the zone. Stallings, one of his 3 home runs on the year has come against Catawba. 4 games in a row with a hit for him. Started cold yesterday, but has hits in two of his last 3 at-bats now. High delivery from Conley. Or excuse me, high delivery from Major to Conley. Stallings with an RBI in game 2 against North Georgia. It's 1 for 5 overall in that one. One to the count. Stallings having a conversation with it, the designated hitter, voicing his dislike for the strike call there. Stallings sends it high. Chrisman calls off everyone and collects the out. That will conclude the 5th. We head to the 6th. It's a 5-2 Lenoir-Rhyne lead. Can Catawba find offense? Rejoin us after the break to find out. Sixth inning action about to get underway at the Southeast Super Regional on FloSports. Bears with a 3-run lead, 5-2. Hales, Hunter Atkins, and Nathan Chrisman all hoping to kickstart Catawba comeback here. Hales wastes no time making contact, but is fouled off. It's a Catawba team that has spent some time trailing in postseason games on the season. Look at the Lander game. Lander led 3-2 early. Catawba would add a run in the bottom of the second. This was their first Southeast Regional game. It was really a back-and-forth game. In fact, we were tied entering the bottom of, well, actually, Lander led entering the bottom of the 8th. Catawba would score a run. It was 9-8. Lander scored a run in the 10th. As we needed extra innings, Catawba would walk it off thanks to Driver tying it up, and then Dunlap sent in Driver, a 9-8 win there. But that was just the first of what ended up being several nail-biting wins for Catawba.
You know, in that game before the Lander game in the regional, the game when Catawba won the SAC championship, it was this inning, the top of the 6th, when Catawba broke it open. 6 runs in that 10-4 win.
Catawba's 4-3 win against North Greenville. Trailblazers led 3-0 early. Or excuse me, Catawba led 3-0 early, and then the Trailblazers were tied up. Catawba scored all their runs in the first, and then they scored just 1 in the 11th, and that ended up being what it took for the win. Hales, a star third baseman in his own right, grounds out to the opposite third baseman. Willing will take care of him there. I'll bring up Hunter Atkins, who struck out in his last at-bat. And Catawba's last Super Regional game was an 8-5 win over North Greenville. North Greenville was the one jumped out with the 3-run lead. Catawba had just the 1 run, and as you mentioned, Kyle, that's where they scored those 6 runs in the bottom of the 6th, and they added 1 more to bottom of the 8th, survived a late Trailblazer comeback, put themselves in this position, and won Game 1 7-3, hoping to capture Game 2 but Girardi making that incredibly difficult. Atkins, a high ball sent in the right field. And a good job tracking it down there from Blackledge. Catawba's offense just not able to find their footing yet.
No, definitely not what you want to see, especially out of a team that has put up 6 runs in this 6th inning. And, just be able to be still trying to find your footing on offense is a little dejecting for Catawba.
Girardi so far 5 in 2 innings pitched. He's allowed just 4 hits, 2 runs, both those earned. A strikeout through 23 batters faced so far. He has made it challenging for Catawba to get on base. Lenoir-Rhyne, after falling in the 2 SAC championship title games to Catawba, did not lick their wounds and cower away. Instead, responded, erupting for a big win against North Georgia, or excuse me, just getting a big win. We'll get to the eruption offensively they had, but they scored 3 runs early. Their offense would go cold, but they scored 1 more run in the bottom of the 5th. That proved to be enough. Their defense was great. Limited North Georgia, just 2 runs in that game, a 4-2 victory. That was tracked down. The throw over to first with some steam. Did Catawba get there? Oh, they did. That was incredibly close. Chrisman using the wheels to beat the throw. What an effort from Keeter to slow it down at short.
Yeah, extremely strong play over at short, but even better wheels from Chrisman.
Bring up Sean Shelley, grounded out to second and was retired on a bunt. Shelley hasn't had his typical day so far. Lenoir-Rhyne's second game against Belmont, in the first game against Belmont Abbey, winners bracket game, the Crusaders taking on the Bears, the 2 versus 3 seed. That's when Lenoir-Rhyne's offense really got to work. They scored multiple runs in 5 different innings. Popped up. Is it too far over? It is not. Caricato captures it. And Shelley will leave one on for Catawba as we go to the bottom of the 6th. How about the Bears right now, continuing their big bounce-back performance? Nathan Keeter leading us off in the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Keeter, then the top of the order. So Wainwright and Blackledge. Wayne to bat. Face off against Major. Catawba's normal weekday starter. Got the first call coming out of bullpen this weekend. Catawba's got other guys they can definitely turn to too. So we'll see what they do. We'll see what Major can do. It's a balance of, it's interesting, his position coach can't find himself in. For Lenoir-Rhyne, it's, hey, we just got to win. And obviously, Girardi's doing great right now, so you're not going to go away from him. But for Catawba, it's how do you manage that bullpen, wanting to win it today, but also wanting to leave yourself protected for tomorrow. Ball's driven high to center. And Hunter has an easy out. Keeter 0 for 3 so far, struck out in the second time he's flew out to center now. Someone who's 3 for 3, though, is Mackenzie Wainwright. What a day it's shaping up to be for one of the most decorated players in all of college baseball. Last season at Salem University, Had 16 home runs, 63 RBIs, 66 hits, and batted .499. And he is more than and he has obviously done incredible work following up that strong campaign a season ago, being awarded with that SAC Player of the Year award. Third Bear ever to win it, first since '05. He's the only Bear ever to win National College Baseball Writers Region and the D2CA Region Player of the Year for both of those, first in LR history. Hit a home run in Game 2 against North Georgia. He had 6 hits, 3 RBIs, and 5 runs in his last 3 games alone, entering our weekend series. 1-2 the count, but striking out Wainwright, a difficult task. And right on cue, he's going to slap this one into right center. It takes a bounce before it reaches the wall. Driver fumbled it around for a moment, and another easy double. Mackenzie Wainwright on top of the world tonight.
Yeah, Mackenzie Wainwright came into this game batting .429, just batting .300 against Catawba. 6 for 20 in the previous 5 meetings, now to be 4 for 4. I mean, just what a game for Mackenzie Wainwright.
Now Owen Blackledge up. Walked in his last at-bat. Prior to that, struck out. Leave a couple men on base. Also flew out to center. Asked Owen Blackledge last night what he thought the difference in yesterday's game was, and said, we just weren't able to get key hits was the biggest thing he felt like. And he said, honestly, that's just baseball. Sometimes we hit it hard and right at them, and other times they just made plays. And we just need to do the ugly stuff better. That was something all of the Bears said, and the ugly stuff can often determine the outcomes.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't execute the fundamentals, I mean, you're not going to have enough foundation to be able to build on.
Cole Stanford mentioned how Catawba was able to hit well with 2 outs and with runners in scoring position. Catawba hasn't left many stranded on because they haven't got them on tonight, too, and that's a big credit to Girardi. Blackledge in the center. Hunter will let it bounce first. He did not want to risk misplaying it, and that means the Bears now have 2 on base with just 1 out, and another potent hitter coming up, Cole Leskowski. Seen Hunter misplay a couple in center field, so just decides to not sell out on it there.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to do too much in the outfield, especially when you're going for maybe just 1 out. You can get that later.
Leskowski, another Bear who's having a big year for Lenoir-Rhyne. He's produced a lot, 2nd team DCAA, 1st team all-conference member too. Look at his year against Catawba. Game 1 against them, 2 for 4 with a run and an RBI. And Game 2 was 1 for 4 with 1 run, 2 RBIs and a walk. In Major's first game against the Bears, went 4 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. And then the second game, similar numbers, 4 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 strikeouts, 1 hit. Bears average 11 hits, after actually 11.7 to be exact, when they get under when they get under 10 hits in a game, and they are at 11 already. They're out hitting Catawba by 6 currently. One of the top offenses in the country, facing elimination. Came ready to roll tonight. Pickoff attempt to first, not quite there. Another pickoff attempt from Major. Wainwright at third. Blackledge at first. Leskowski at first. This is the kind of thing the Bears have been waiting for, to get some of these top guys on. It's happened a couple times, but not as frequently as they would like. Bunt shown for a moment, but then pulled back. Does end up being strike 2. So 2-2 the count here.
Yeah, for an LR team that has found themselves kind of against the 8 ball lately against Catawba, feeling good to have all that leverage.
Another close call on the pickoff. Dunlap, such a veteran. As he catches it, he's able to try and get the tag there too. But just really good place, just really good effort there from, or just Blackledge just doing a good job getting back.
Well, and Dunlap also eyeing Mackenzie Wainwright, less than 90 feet away.
Blackledge went for it. Major went for it yet again. We'll see now if he refocuses his attention on Laskowski. This one hit to Dunlap. They're going to go for the out at home. They're going to catch Wainwright in the pickle. Conference Player of the Year. And Conley fakes it, and then they'll get Wainwright as they force him to slide. Well played by the transfer catcher from Surrey Community College.
Yeah, absolutely. Good job from Conley not to throw too early, as either Dunlap or Major, whoever it was trying to cover home plate, wasn't all the way there yet. So now 2 outs to ease the pressure.
Sal Caricato, though, someone you feel the pressure every time he comes up to bat. Was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat, then launched one off the wall. Popped out to short to leave 2 on base in his last at-bat. Bears have yet to go 2 innings in a row in which they haven't scored a run. That's what would happen here if they don't get one in. Scored 2 in the bottom of the first. That was thanks to the RBI from Stanford, and then the error from Catawba. Hubbard tried to make a tough play, led to another one. And the home run from Stanford in his next at-bat brought in 2 more runs for Lenoir-Rhyne. Laskowski had the RBI in his last at-bat, not the most recent one. That's how we get to 5-3 here. Conley's RBI. The lone individual to bring in runs tonight for the Catawba Indians. Low ball there, so 2-1 the count now with 2 outs. Two Bears on base. Low ball from Major there. What do you think is going through Major's head facing a hitter like Caricato with 2 Bears on base here?
I don't think you can really think about a whole lot, because all you're going to really think about is, oh, crap, I got 2 runners on base and a really good hitter at the plate. So, I mean, just, all right, I got to do what I know how to do.
This ball breaks in, goes into left field. Long throw's going to come home, but Hale's actually, I know they faked it, and then Conley can't get the tag out in time because it was a great hit that brings in Blackledge. RBI. Clutch. Caricato comes through. 4 runs the lead. The Bears have maintained now.
See, and I was thinking about Stanford being on deck and like, oh, so if Caricato walks, that leaves a full plate out there for Cole Stanford. And I mean, just Caricato goes, I can do this.
So Stanford, we just talked about. He has helped bring in 4 runs, one of those being the error, but has 3 RBIs already on the day, including a home run. So you mentioned it would have been troublesome if you get the bases loaded in that spot. Major, good job delivering in the zone that time. Catawba's defense holding Lenoir-Rhyne to just 3 runs yesterday, and they never let them score over 4 in the SAC championship games, those 2 as well. So this is the most runs Lenoir-Rhyne has got against a Catawba team since some of those regular season matchups. High fly ball here. Hunter closing in on it quickly and able to grab it. So 2 Bears left on base, but not before another run comes in for Lenoir-Rhyne. This is a 4-run game, and we just got 3 innings to play. Will the Bears force a 3rd game, or will Catawba close it out and book another ticket to carry? Stay with us. You're watching the 2025 Southeast Regional on Flow Sports. The 7th inning is here, and it's a 4-run lead for Lenoir-Rhyne, the 3 seed in the Southeast Regional, facing off against the top seeded Catawba Indians in our Southeast Super Regional on Flow Sports. Conley wants to make a play for this team, pops this one up, and over by the fans, actually just past him in foul territory. JT Wisterstill, Kyle Grice by my side. Sun setting here. Catawba now all of a sudden down to their final 9 outs, Kyle, is this game a far cry from what yesterday's had.
Yeah, definitely a game where Catawba sprung on them early, and LR just getting the best of them early.
Conley, awkward contact, and Girardi continues his domination on the mound. What a day it's been for him.
Yeah, Girardi not just pitching, but also fielding. He's had a couple or maybe 3 even great fielding plays so far today, and he's just been really getting the best of Catawba's hitters.
Yesterday, it was Payne's day. Instead, Girardi commanding the mound exceptionally well, the lefty, limiting Catawba's offense. Ty Hubbard, 9th man in the order. Catawba would love to get him on base before the top of the order comes up to bat. Catawba has not scored any runs since the top of the 2nd. Conley, the lone one to drive in those runs, and we just saw him be retired. And it's a 7-hit difference, too, 12-5. Only 7 hits for Lenoir-Rhyne yesterday. They had yet to hit double-digit hits against this Catawba team on the season. So credit the Bears offense for really having success here tonight. They've never exceeded that 11 hit average on the season. They had 7 hits last game, 9 hits. Actually, excuse me, they had never in here in the last couple games. They had 11 in game 1, then 9, 9, and 8, and then the 7 one. So 4 games in a row under 10, 7 being their least. And then obviously they've had a huge outing so far today. Hubbard nearly earns the walk. In fact, he will. That was an outside delivery. So Hubbard, that's the one thing. Even amidst his hitting struggles, he's found ways to get on base. Does so again with a walk there. That brings up Dylan Driver, and man, is he due for a hit. Flew out to center, popped out to third, grounded out to the pitcher so far today as well.
Yeah, you can't help but almost feel like Catawba is due for their big inning. I mean, we could be Catawba homers if we talked about a lot of other things, but one thing that is just known around the area is that Catawba has one big inning in a lot of their games that dictates how the rest of the game is going to go.
It was something Coach Skonecki brought up yesterday to us. You take away that 4th inning, that's a 3-3 game. We could have been right there if we limit them a little bit more. Bears have other guys just kind of getting loose, or I should say loosening up. One player warming up. Want to be careful with Girardi, obviously, but he has been great, so you want to give him the chance to finish things out here.
And especially being in LR's position, you know, you win today, you go to tomorrow, you would like to have a stocked bullpen to be able to, you know, give your team a chance to go to carry.
Driver fouled it off, but man, was there some good distance on that one. That one is long gone into the forest. Beautiful night out here in Salisbury, Newman Park.
We need to check Whitley Field for that baseball later. So any kids listening, drive by.
That's our softball field located behind the trees right there here at Catawba College. Hubbard at first, top of the 7th. Catawba the designated visitors today, with the Bears getting to be the home team. So 2-2 the count. Be interesting to see if Girardi does walk Driver here, what the Bears decide to do. Would love to let him finish it out, but may not be given a choice if he can't get himself out of it here. And obviously pitch count starting to go up a little bit as well too. Hubbard's going to head to second, slides in, and did he get in? He did. Hubbard, wow, a gutsy decision to try and steal there, especially considering he's one delivery away from potentially walking there, but he does get there.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, Hubbard maybe got a little bit lucky. Stanford's toss down to second base a little high, just enough time for Hubbard to get in.
How will Girardi respond? A man on second now, full count facing off against one of the most prolific individuals in Catawba baseball history, Dylan Driver. Two hits away from 4th all time. Pops it back, but it's over too far. Full count. We'll do it again. Girardi versus Driver. Good on good. Driver over into right field, and it's tracked down, and the Bears unable to get over there, and Catawba's going to round the bases. Driver holds up at second, and Coach Gant ends up calling Hubbard over to second, and wow, Catawba needed that one. I think they might have even gotten stuck over there for a moment. But what a sequence, and Driver able to come through for Catawba. It was just out of our vision point exactly, so I wasn't exactly sure what happened with the ball, but either way, drops for Catawba, and man, was that needed.
Yeah, absolutely. A guy that we said was due, and just kind of poetic that he would do it with a double, something that he does quite often.
Yes, it is. He'd been cold, hadn't had a double since his first at-bat. That's his first hit in his last 6 at-bats, in fact.
Speaking of first things, this will be the first mound meeting here for LR.
Yes, it will be. Hubbard and Driver will both be in scoring position with James Dunlap. Just the one out to him. We mentioned it for Dunlap as well. He's a guy who's come through big late for Catawba recently. The North Dakota State transfer said he wanted to come to Catawba to have a chance to go on some deep run, play in big games, win championships. Already captured a regular season, won a conference championship. They won their pot of the Southeast Regional, but now won a Super Regional. Third time ever hosting Super Regionals. They won both of the previous ones, the one in 24 and the one in 19. This is the first to feature James Dunlap, and he's hoping to leave his imprint on it right here. Catawba crowd buzzing with anticipation. Girardi still stays in, and Dunlap's going to waste no time making strong contacts directly to Wainwright. And for Catawba, that's going to at least bring in 1 run, so it makes it a 3-run game yet again as James Dunlap flies out to center. Sac fly. He's now driven in a runner at a hit in all of his at-bats. So Sam Hunter comes in here. Hunter, it has not been his day. Grounded out to second. Popped out on the bunt to the catcher behind him. Then grounded out to second, too. Still got Hubbard, who's on second. Catawba up to 6 hits, but the Bears have doubled them up with 12 so far. See if Catawba goes back to major or if they make a change. We talked about earlier how both teams manage their bullpen will be incredibly interesting. Lenoir-Rhyne used 7 pitchers in that game 2 against Catawba. They have not needed to do that so far today. That is a high delivery. Hunter gets out of the way of it. Our umpire had to get out of the way of it, and you see Stanford jump up for it.
A lot of guys putting together breaking tape for the next Olympics.
Big hack for Hunter. He'll get nothing. 1-2 the count. Girardi, can he get through 7 innings? Looks likely as Hunter pops it up. Leskowski has it. Girardi, his great game will continue. And he closes out Catawba's offense yet again. The Bears lead, but Catawba did get on the board there. So 6-3 game. We send it to the bottom of the 7th. Bears lead has been cut into, but just by one. Eli Willen hoping to raise it back up to a few runs more. Willen, Logan, Stallings, all due up to bat. Keeter, ninth man in the order, would be fourth before we turn it back over to the top. Instant contact into right field. Driver right there to retire Willen. He's 0 for 4 now today.
One pitch, one out for Braden Major, who is still in the ball game.
Yes, he is. Catawba does have another man warming up, but right now, this game in the hands of Braden Major, the Bluefield State transfer. Michael Logan back up, walked in his last at-bat against Major 2, then grounded out to second and flew out to center earlier. Catawba hoping to go 3 up, 3 Bears up, 3 down, and doing so, they just put themselves in a better position to avoid Mackenzie Wainwright, but that top of the order will definitely be batting again. Logan quickly 0-2 in the count. Major gaining confidence and looking to complete. Will be his first strikeout of the game here. Instead, Logan going to put it up into right field. Dylan Driver running after it, and he's got it right before he hits the wall and may have not even touched it. Good work from Driver. Said Catawba wanted 2 up, 2 down quickly, and now they're going to try to make it 3 up, 3 down. Major in this Catawba defense holding steady. Stallings, someone capable of disrupting things, though. Started his day with the line drive, popped out to short, not once but twice since. Lenoir-Rhyne looking to win today and force a game 3. We mentioned how hard it is to beat Catawba. If you're looking at when has Catawba last lost a best-of-3 series, when they won game 1, it's been 24 straight consecutive series wins for the Catawba Indians when they've won a game 1. Lenoir-Rhyne, of course, recently, when they lose game 1, then ended up losing the series to Catawba. And they're 1-2 in such games on the season in which they lose game 1. They were able to come back against Emory and Henry, lost to Carson Newman, and then Catawba already in the SAC pod, as we mentioned, too.
Yeah, you were talking about earlier how hard it is to beat Catawba at Newman Park, and LR's going to have to do it twice. That's something that hasn't been done in 24 series.
Yes. Three 3-1 the count. Major in danger of putting Stallings on base, and this is a big part here for Catawba. Like we said, you would love to have the bases cleared before you have to see Mackenzie Wainwright, a chance that Keeter could be on. See if Stallings is able to get on, and he does take that strike, so it's full count here. Big spot for both sides. Bears out hitting Catawba by 6. They've doubled them up 12-6. They lead 6-3. Major one delivery away from sending us into the 8th. And he's done it. Stallings swings low, gets nothing. And Major comes through yet again for Catawba. We'll see if Catawba's offense can come up with something down to their final 6 outs if they want to win it in 2 against Lenoir-Rhyne. The Southeast Super Regional roll on when we come back. William Girardi still on the mound, and what a day it's been for Girardi. Through 7 innings, allowed just 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 of those earned. Faced 30 batters so far. It was the Bears bullpen that in a way let him down in that SAC title series. We mentioned a 10-4 Catawba win in that second game after they won game 1, 10-3. 7 pitchers they had to use. You see Coach Konecki, he wants to rely on Girardi as long as he can. Try and slow down a guy like Cole Hales. Hales is having himself one heck of a season for Catawba. All conference, all region first baseman, lots of accolades. And Hales will launch a line drive into center. Coach Gant credited Hales with kick-starting Catawba's offense yesterday, and he's the first one to get a hit in the top of the 8th. Catawba got a run in. Back in the top of 7, it was their first since the top of the 2nd. I'll bring up Hunter Atkins here. Atkins came through big late in his last at-bat, squeezing a ground ball through. Walked, struck out, and flew out to right field so far today. Atkins had 4 RBIs in total in the SAC Championship Series in Asheboro, 2 in each game. Lenoir-Rhyne 6 outs away from forcing a game 2. Catawba needs to score at least 4 runs tonight if they're going to want to try and end this in 2. That seems like a tall task against the Bears. A Bears team that you could tell was definitely disappointed in the result, but they did not look like a defeated team yesterday. They looked like a motivated one.
Yeah, absolutely. They looked almost empowered by the fact that, they were punched in the mouth and they think game respecting game.
Atkins frustrated as he strikes out. Girardi still going strong. That was big for the Bears. Here comes Nathan Chrisman now for Catawba. We did not have the home team bat yesterday. Catawba's going to need to score 3 runs if they want to force the Bears to bat in the bottom of the 9th. We're still here in the top of the 8th. Chrisman's ground ball scooped up by Lenoir-Rhyne. Chance at a double play, and they're able to make it. And Lenoir-Rhyne is fired up. Girardi and the Bears doing their best right now, and Catawba struggling to contend with it. Bottom of the 8th is next, and Catawba's going to need to score at least 3 runs on the top of the 9th. They want to send this one into a bottom of the 9th. We'll see if they can do it when we come back. Lenoir-Rhyne picking a great time to have their first double play of the weekend. In the top of the 8th, Catawba had a hit from Hales, and that was all she wrote after he got on base. And then a strikeout from Atkins. Girardi somehow still delivering. He has a chance to go the distance tonight. And then after that, it was the double play. Great execution by the Bears. Keeter, Laskowski, and Caricato all contributing to keep Catawba's offense quiet. Keeter up here, and we'll turn it over to the top of the order. Wainwright and Blackledge waiting to bat. Mackenzie Wainwright 4 for 4 tonight. Keeter flew out to center not once but twice and struck out. Catawba giving Major more run. Have to be impressed by what he's doing. And if Girardi's able to finish this one out, he will have saved a lot of the top pitchers for the Bears, their relief guys, versus Catawba. They might just roll with Major the rest of the way, and then we'll see what happens if we do need that game tomorrow. Right now, Catawba going to have to score at least 3 runs to force the Bears to bat in the bottom of 9.
Yeah, both teams seemingly bracing for a Game 3 tomorrow that they'll need to be stocked with arms for.
Another ball there, so full count. Mentioned Wainwright, 4 for 4 so far today. The Region Player of the Year. The last time he did that was March 22nd against Virginia Wise. Was 4 for 4. 3 RBIs, 2 homers in that one. He'll have a chance to go 5 for 5 when he comes back in a moment, too. And Keeter with the walk. And man, what an emphatic bat flip as he's fired up. He heard the moans and groans from the crowd, and he's excited to just get on base. And this looks like it'll do it for Major. So we'll see who Catawba turns to when we come back. But right now, it's the Bears who lead by 3. Major a valiant effort, but after yielding a walk, Catawba going to make a swap. We'll tell you who it is when we return on Flow Sports. Catawba moving off of Major for Seth Sharp, the freshman who was a star and breakout one last weekend for Catawba. He's going to get the call here. We see him midweek games and also on a relief guy normally. He's seen the Bears before, but how's he done on the season, Kyle?
Yeah, well, he's had 27 previous appearances with a 3.72 ERA, 46 strikeouts to 16 walks, and with runners on base, holding them to a 226 batting average.
And Mr. 4 for 4 today, Mackenzie Wainwright, up to bat here. We'll talk about what he did in his last performance, Seth Sharp, that is, as it was his best game of the year. But prior to that, one of his worst outings against Lenoir-Rhyne. Just went 0-1 innings, allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, both of which were earned before Catawba had to move on from Sharp and go to Simerson in Game 2 of the SAC Championship Series to close it out.
Yeah, that was the game that late Catawba had that lead due to their 6-run 6th inning. And just LR threatened to cut into that lead, but Catawba closed it out.
Wainwright has 11 games with 3 or more hits and over 35 multi-hit games on the season. Bites on one from Sharp there. His previous multi-hit game was on April 27th. So obviously prior to what he did in the regionals. So we had some success in the regionals and then was a little bit of a cold spell for him, but Can't keep a region player of the year down for long. Wainwright proving that. This chopper, oh my goodness, how did James Dunlap get that? Impressive elevation as he rises up and somehow extends the wingspan fully to bring it in.
All right, that was a great play.
If you're going to get Mackenzie Wainwright out, you got to do something improbable, and that's what he was able to do right there.
Yeah, mere inches from Mackenzie Wainwright going 5 for 5 on the day.
So Owen Blackledge now comes up amidst all of that. Keeter got over to second, walked by Major before he left the mound. So Blackledge is here. Drove one into center in his last at-bat to get on base. Prior to that, had walked, struck out, and then flew out to center. Sharp finds his own. To make it 1-1. Mentioned how good he was in his last outing. In 4 innings against North Greenville in Game 1, he helped Catawba win it. He only allowed 1 hit and 1 run, and it wasn't even earned. 5 strikeouts and 2 walks. 5 strikeouts, a season high for the freshman. You get to see what your young players are made of in postseason action, especially regional action. And Sharp showed Coach Gant and this Catawba staff something last week.
Absolutely, being able to come in his rookie year and make an impact would be huge for Sharp's career.
1-2 the count. Blackledge barely grazed it. Bottom of 8, 1 out, 1 on second. It's Keeter. Catawba trails by 3. Lenoir-Rhyne looking to force a Game 3, and winner goes to Cary. High delivery from Sharp there. Blackledge looks like he wants a new piece of equipment, so he's going to make an adjustment on something with his bat.
Yeah, he'll get some more pine tar on there. Looks like he was maybe felt himself slipping off the barrel, or something off the handle, rather.
Trying to make a key adjustment. See how it works out. Two the count. Blackledge grazed it off yet again. Blackledge's father, Todd, a former NFL quarterback, analyst for NBC. A star quarterback, his dad who came up in big games. Blackledge has done the same throughout his career with the Bears, and he's going to earn a tough ball 3 there. A chance for the walk or to make a big hit in a moment. Sharp ready to send it in. Blackledge strikes out. Nice work from Sharp. He's given Catawba a chance, but got to get one more out in order to put him in a position. Bears frustrated to not be able to add something to this 3-run lead it would be for them. They'll hope that Cole Liskowski can do that here. Drove in a run on the day. He's 2 for 4 overall. Struck out earlier. First time Blackledge has struck out this weekend. Not bad for the freshman. Sharp to strike out. One of the top hitters, not just in the conference, but the region.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Pickoff attempt at second. A good job getting back there by Keeter. Inside delivery from Sharp there. The one thing that's big for, obviously, Catawba, and I mean, Cole Stanford for Lenoir-Rhyne can attest this too. It's nice for, the catcher. You've gotten so many reps with each of these pitchers, so then when they come in these moments like this, big games, you're able to have that key communication, even though it's different guys rotating throughout a game.
Right, absolutely, and that's just a testament to all the hard hours put in, long hours, practice, just being around the guys for. I mean, this group of guys has been together for about 9 or 10 months at this point.
Yes, they have been. Mentioned Stanford, how good he's been, a second-team All-American behind the plate for Lenoir-Rhyne. And then you have a guy, or at least, of course, second-team All-American from the National College Baseball Writers Association. This ball's lifted high into left field. Atkins only has to move slightly for it, and he's got it. And what Catawba has is a chance. That's all they wanted, and they got a chance to call this one in 2 games. But it's going to take a lot. We'll stay here to talk about the implications. But for Catawba, it's win, and you're off to carry. Doing so, incredibly difficult. Down 6-3, being out hit 12-7. You'll have a DH coming up for Catawba, and the Bears don't want to leave this one in doubt. Even though Girardi did a good job, we are going to see Lenoir-Rhyne use a new pitcher here. Sean Shelley still going to bat for Catawba, so he'll be your last 3 in the order. Shelley, Conley, and Hubbard are all going to come up here. And outside of Conley, who had the 2-run RBI, and then Hubbard had a walk, that's it for hits. And now they'll try to get some momentum going against Gavin Marley, the newest Lenoir-Rhyne pitcher.
Yeah, he's got a sub-3 ERA on the year, 2.56. This will be his 24th appearance of the year, 47 strikeouts to 15 walks for Gavin Marley.
Third-team all-conference relief pitcher. Saw time in Game 1 against Catawba. Went 2 in 2 innings, allowed 1 in the win. 1 run, 4 strikeouts in that one, really impressive. Game 2, 1 in 1 innings, allowed here in Salisbury, 1 hit, 2 runs, 2 walks. In Game 3, allowed just 1 run, which was earned, and 3 strikeouts there. When going another 1-1 with 3 hits. He's the guy Lenoir-Rhyne would have called upon earlier, but Girardi just too good. And speaking of how good he's been since his day is officially over, 8 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, all 3 of those earned, 3 walks, faced 33 batters in total. Last night, Stallsworth the star, but tonight, at least for now, belongs to William Girardi.
Yeah, especially for a guy, allowing 7 hits and 3 walks, to be able to limit the other team to 3 runs, huge.
10 games with 5 or more strikeouts for Girardi. Only got the 2 tonight, but what's more important is he really held Catawba's offense down. Only 6 or more runs given up twice on the year. One of those the last time he faced off against Catawba. So a big bounce-back performance for Girardi here tonight and for the Bears in general so far. The senior stepped up now. Can Marley close it out here for Lenoir-Rhyne, the redshirt sophomore, with victory in his hands? And Catawba did make the change. Originally, it was Sean Shelley who was out there warming up, but Catawba will go back to yesterday's DH, Cooper Bryson, who did come through in some big moments.
Yeah, fan favorite who's got the crowd riled up here, a guy that homered in the SAC pod that really jolted this Catawba offense.
Outside delivery by Marley first there. Bryson in yesterday's action struck out in his first at-bat, then a double down the left field line, grounded out to short, and then flew out to center, but it was a sac fly. Bryson fouls this one off.
We'll say Marley is extremely effective against leadoff hitters, holding them to a .043 batting average for the year.
1-1 the count here. Bryson bit on it there, and the Bears rise to their feet, fired up. His last appearance went an inning against North Georgia. 3 strikeouts. In fact, if you look at his last 3 games, stretching back to the one for Catawba, 2, he's combined for 8 strikeouts. A high delivery will prevent him from retiring. Bryson there, 2-2 the count. Catawba has to score 3 runs to force the Bears to bat in the bottom of the 9th. Lenoir-Rhyne trying to force a game 3, got a great chance to do so. Bryson lifted it into left field, and it's an out. Nice work from Logan. Here comes Matthew Conley for Catawba. Conley and Hubbard a combined 2 for 6 in on-base opportunities. Hubbard with the walk. Conley the RBI double. His last one, he lifted it right to Girardi. Captured the line drive. Catawba just trying to reach the top of the order. Going to be tough to do so, though, facing a fired-up Marley. Conley bit there. Marley, third team relief pitcher, all conference as we mentioned. Conley in danger of striking out. Nearly strike 3, and Lenoir-Rhyne not a fan. Bears in disbelief over the called zone there. Conley will strike out one delivery later. Marley, magnificent on the mound so far.
Just a very similar effect that Simerson had for Catawba yesterday. I mean, Marley being able to come in and really put away the Catawba offense again.
Catawba's had some incredible comebacks amidst this 16-game winning streak, which is now on the brink of coming to an end, but this would be something else. Down by 3, 2 outs. Hubbard swings. He'll get nothing. Bears 2 deliveries away from a win. Lenoir-Rhyne fans have traveled well, and they know victory is within their clutches. That's strike 2. Lenoir-Rhyne could take game 2 right here. And they will. The Bears bounce back and best Catawba in game 2. 6-3, Lenoir-Rhyne will win it. And we will see all of you tomorrow for a game 3 and an opportunity for Cary. A trip to the national championships up for grabs. What a performance from Lenoir-Rhyne.
Absolutely, especially. So Catawba had their chance to celebrate yesterday. It's LR's night tonight, but coming into tomorrow, it's 0-0. You can wipe the results of yesterday and today clean. It will be just one game for all the marbles.
It will be one game for all the marbles. You know who understood that tonight? Mackenzie Wainwright. He knew it was one game, or else this magical season the Bears have built up will come to a close. Off of that, this victory too, that's now a program record for wins in a season for Lenoir-Rhyne. So congrats to the Bears on that as well. The third-ranked team in the region. For the first time in the last 4 times they played Catawba, they finally get them. They won the first one in the regular season, but this is the biggest as it keeps their season going. We mentioned Mackenzie Wainwright, but how else was Lenoir-Rhyne able to do it tonight?
They were able to get a lot of offense consecutively. I mean, oh my God, Girardi. William Girardi had about the game of his life, and then Gavin Marley in the back end for the 9th, being able to shut it down. Just a great job all around from this Lenoir-Rhyne team.
3 runs, 7 hits for Lenoir-Rhyne yesterday. They bounced back and with 6 runs, 12 hits, hold Catawba to 3 runs and 7 hits too. What a big performance from the Bears. Mentioned Wainwright went 4 for 5 in total. Leskowski drove in a run. Obviously, Cole Stanford could arguably be the player of the game. His 2-run homer and drove in an RBI earlier and then forced the error as well, too. You mentioned Girardi. Marley was great to close it out, too, for Catawba. Googe started out okay, then kind of got away from him. Major came in and held things down all right, but ended up being too much as Lenoir-Rhyne jumped out to that 4-2 lead after 3, and they never looked back. Score a few more runs along the way, and the Bears will win it and force that 3rd game tomorrow for a trip to Cary on the line. Kyle, your final thoughts?
Just one glaring thing on the scoreboard is that Catawba's big inning really never came, and that was a thing that Lenoir-Rhyne's defense did very well. Their pitching was on point, didn't let Catawba really let it rain or let it flood at all. So just 2 teams going at it again tomorrow, and we're looking forward to it.
We can't wait for it. Coach Skonecki told us we'll give you a good show tomorrow for sure, talking about tonight. His Bears more than delivered. A 12-7 difference in hits, and more importantly for the Bears, a 6-3 victory over the Catawba Indians. That will do it for us up top. Lenoir-Rhyne is forced a Game 3 for a trip to Cary up for grabs. Catawba wants to go back-to-back. Lenoir-Rhyne, the first time in their program history. We can't wait to see how it'll play out tomorrow at 6 p.m. on FloSports. We'll see you right back here at Newman Park then. For all the hardworking women here, men and women at Catawba College, and my partner Kyle Grice, I'm JT Wistersill. We thank you for tuning in. Bears take it in Game 2 to force a third game, 6-3. Win or go home tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Time on FloSports. Bears Catawba back at it then.